Hey there, Miss Jennifer here, and I have a fun STEAM lesson for you today. Today we're going to be talking about the mathematical principle and visual art principle of pattern. Now, pattern is a systematic repetition. So that means swirl, triangle, circle, swirl, triangle, circle, swirl, triangle, circle. So however you set up your pattern, you just repeat it. As you see here, I offset these one. So you also have a pattern going down this way, diagonally. But you don't really have to think about it. You just have to do it. So let's go ahead and grab our white paper. And we'll come up with a few simple shapes. Now, for you older kids, you can come up with some harder ones if you like. So you could do circles. You could do triangles, you could do squares, you could do triple dots, you could do the spiral like I did. Maybe you want to do paw prints, if you're a pet lover. What else could you do? You could do any kind of random shape that you feel like you could draw again and again. You don't want to do something that's too hard because you won't be able to recreate it. But for the purposes of this, you could just start with something as simple as this. If you really wanted to, you could do numbers as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What comes next? 1, 2, 3, right. Now see how I offset? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then that way it goes like a checkerboard kind of. So grabbing my card here, I'm going to quickly draw my border. I do have a black pen, remembering that you can begin by drawing with pencil, but hopefully you're getting used to having some confident mark making skills, because you've been working with me for a little while and you're doing a great job. All right, let's see. Maybe I'm going to draw a star. I'm going to go ahead and make it black. And now I'm going to draw a circle. And then I'm going to draw a swirl. So star, circle. Do I have room for one more swirl? Let's give it a go. Now, you want to keep them equal distance apart as best you can. Now, you could go down stars and circles all the way down, but I like to offset mine by 1, which means this time, instead of doing the star, I'm going to do a circle. So what comes after circle? Swirl. What comes after swirl? Star. Now, don't be confused. Just think to yourself the order that you do it. Star, circle, swirl. Star, circle, swirl. Circle, swirl, star. And so star, what comes next? Circle. And I'm going to put it right underneath. Then I have the swirl. Now, if you're a little older and you want to get a little more sophisticated, you can do something way more complicated than this. And it doesn't have to be 3. It could be as many as you want. All right. So now I'm going to have swirl. Another way you could do it is to go ahead and go down the line like this. So there's really no wrong way, as long as you're systematic, meaning you're going to do it the same way every time. And this way, you will have it. All right, what comes after this? Oh, star. And you see, it starts setting up this diagonal pattern as well, which is really cool. And we will keep on going here quickly so we can get this done. Now, whenever humans make pattern, guess what? Our eye likes patterns. We do, it's like we're always looking for patterns with our thoughts, with our eyes, in our behavior, from people that we know. Like, if the familiar makes us feel good. So when you're making a pattern for visual art, just remember that it's very pleasing to the eye. So if you have an excuse to put some pattern in your artwork, go for it. We'll probably be doing some Zentangles a little bit later, and those are really, really fun way to create visual repetition, which is one of our principles of design. And we are almost finished. Now, I did my card, this card, with, what do you call it, highlighters. But you do not have to use highlighters. You can use regular markers. Now, for the swirl, I would probably use a yellow, so that way you can, did I mess up? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm talking, I'm not paying attention. So you got to make sure you pay attention. Don't be talking so much like I am. Hold on one second. Okay, so if you have something that you're just going to color in like this, you might want to be able to see the line through it. Now, if I were you, I would be taking my time a little more than what I'm doing here so that, you know, my blacks are all the way covered in. So you see, this looks super cool, right? Now, I'm going to grab a highlighter to do the green, and I'm just going to go over the swirls all the way. Now, it's best if you're creating a pattern to repeat it with the color. So try that if you can. And notice I went off the page there a couple of times because my pattern isn't perfect. Is that okay? Yes, it is okay because nobody's perfect and it is handmade. So when anything is handmade, those little imperfections are nice. All right, so since I already colored my stars black, you see this has a completely different feel than this one. But I think since I did the green here, I'll repeat it around the outside. Now, regular markers are fine, but if you have a couple of highlighters, feel free to use them. And again, it's very easy to get a nice, complete card. Oops, what did I miss? Ooh, I missed a couple of my orange. So let me go back. And I did this so fast it looks like this pen bled a little bit. So you might want to test your pens out first and make sure, because a gel pen will bleed with a marker. Okay, there you go. This is a fun, easy steam lesson. Give it a try and practice making patterns any way you like. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.